Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of the review with Heather's Passion Academy. And I am Heather of Heather's Passion Academy. And today we are reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 8, episode 12. Y'all, I know it was it was like 2 weeks ago, but like, okay, I kind of forgot to do the review. So I'm doing it now. Um, as we know, right now they're actually in hiatus, I guess, until after the Olympics um, finishes up, and then they'll go back. So um, right now we're just kind of on a break, so that gives me time to catch up because yeah, I didn't do the review when I was supposed to, so here it is. And it's not going to take long. We're not going to tarry today because really episode 12, it wasn't a lot to talk about. It was a few scenes and y'all saw it, but here's my take on it. So here we go. And of course, we always talk about, what happened previously, and I honestly don't remember. So let's just get into this episode. So this episode opens up with Stormy and Courtney at the new warehouse because they're in the middle of a move. They were talking about how it went with her going to the TikTok studios and how they're having to, even get back and get everything ready to ship out because business still goes on, even though she had a lot of success at TikTok. And they just have to make sure those orders still go out and manage those two warehouses that they have until they get fully moved. So, as they're talking and everything, just trying to get over the logistics of everything, they talk about this situation where Martell came by the warehouse to talk to her after the gala. And they ended up talking about how he told her that Trish came by the house a couple of times. Now Courtney was like, "Huh? What?" She was like, "Yeah, he just pop up with, um, she came to my house. Did you know that?" And Courtney was like, "No, he didn't tell me about that." And she was like, now that I know, y'all just throwing this stuff in my lap. I'm gonna have to go and let Trisha know that he said this. So, it's a lot of going back and forth on this, and everybody's kind of at that point, and I mean I'm part of those. Everybody's at that point where we know that there are some things that are not being said, and there are some truths that are being overlooked, and it's something fishy going on with the two of them. We don't know, but I tell you what, I'm tired of hearing about it, you know. And the thing I guess that gets me is that a lot of stuff can be um resolved with people just either don't talk about it or talk about it all together so you can go on it and get it together. Because one thing you got to understand about Martell is if you don't get ahead of him, he gonna spin a story the way he need it spun. And so that's to me what it's looking like for Trisha. She needed to get ahead of him talking all that stuff. But anyway, you ain't learned nothing yet. So over here in the next scene, Martell has invited Destiny over to the house just to kind of give her heads up about the situation with Sonny and Moses looking to purchase the home from him. He lets her know that, they are talking about actually moving and everything. And she was like, "Oh, okay, well, you just you choosing money over friends." I'm like, yeah, he kind of is, that's I don't know if I would stop my friend from making money. I wouldn't want to know about it if they dealing with people that I don't want to be around. But that just seems like the theme around here on this show is that everybody having dealings with people that they don't really want to you know tell other folks about, or they don't mind messing up a friendship for a deal. I mean, it's cool. That's the way they do it over here. Anyway, he was talking about how they were talking about the different, the company and everything that's named basically after Destiny and her child, and how Sonny just wanted everybody to know she the one with the ring, honey, this and that. And I'm like, look, let her have this dude. Be okay with being okay. They always say water find its own level. They done found their own level. And don't even be bothered about it no more, Destiny. Let it go. Let it go. She told Martell, though, that he has a natural propensity to be around losers. And she just, also feels like Sonny and Moses are just trying to be around to get under her skin. I think there are a lot of layers with this situation. Of course, I know the Sonny and Moses thing is probably more so fueled by um, production. I think that, y- Destiny saying that he has a natural propensity to be around losers. I'm like, well, you his friend. So what does that say about you, Destiny? So be careful when you say things like that because you're friends with him. And I get that they've all been cool and everything, but you know, I just wouldn't want to be around somebody that's got so much controversy around them. But I guess somebody got to, you still got to have friends. Anyway, this situation is very layered and it's very complicated. It's odd. All I know is if I don't want to be around somebody, I wouldn't move to the same area that they're in, if I can help it, you know. I definitely wouldn't want to be part of the same friend circle. So I do not get the whole Moses and Sonny thing again, other than the fact that production is pushing this. So I don't know. It's very weird. So anyway, so on the next scene, Destiny comes to work out with Tricia and Stormy. Walks in and comes to talk to the lady because Stormy was like, "What I'm not gonna do is work out today," and I get that. Everybody's dressed up. They're doing their workout thing. And I believe Trisha, it may be a good trainer. I believe she might actually be a good trainer. But anyway, Stormy comes in and she's sharing with them, what's been going on with her, with the TikTok thing and all the other stuff going on. Destiny and all them talking about, what's going on with Tricia, and Tricia shares with them that she finally talks to the kids about her situation, and then she says she finally talked to her sisters because her sisters never really been told everything about the situation. Then Destiny and they were all asking was so this is just not fixable. Y'all not gonna be able to do nothing with this situation, and she was like, well, you know, at this point it's too late as far as fixing things in marriage because they were like, well, what couldn't you fix? And she was like, the level of resentment at this point, everything has gone too far, and the level of resentment that I have will not allow us to fix this marriage. So it's pretty much it's a done deal for me. Stormy says, have y'all talked about the divorce? Trisha says yes. But then, he's saying he feels like we didn't get an opportunity to fix anything. And Stormy was like, "So you saying he still wants you?" And Trisha like, "Yeah, no, no, Trisha always get caught up on the easy questions for some reason. She can't seem to answer just things straight out." Stormy said, "Well, if he talking about fixing stuff, maybe he ready to he not over this thing. He trying to get back with you." And she was like, "Well, I don't feel the same way." Trisha got a very complicated situation going on. Anyway, they agreed that the best path for her to move to do is just kind of just move on with this situation, go on and file for that divorce. Destiny was like, you know what you should do? You should go to therapy with me. And she was like, I don't know. You think? Yeah, yes, Trisha, because you got a lot of issues, and you just rolled out of one major relationship into another major relationship. Some therapy might help. Then Stormy talked about Martell coming by the warehouse, and she was talking to them about the weird interaction. Destiny was like, "You sure y'all wasn't sneaky leaks?" And she's like, "No, I didn't even make it to his house." And they were like, "So you mean to tell me, that was part of the were you on your way?" So she comes up and talks about this thing about, they didn't had no real interactions. They were on Instagram, she they didn't quite make it to it was all kind of stuff she was saying. And at the end of the day, uh she was saying, well, if I had done something with him, I'd let y'all know. I'd be like, y'all sure did sleep with him. Blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, I don't know, Trisha. I don't know. I'm not sure that you would know how to say that because you're trying to present one way because you don't want people to think of you in a negative way. Anyway, Destiny and Stormy trying to get to the bottom of stuff. And she was like, we, regardless of whether this happened or not, that was before Ken. So, and they were like, but wasn't you still married when he still married? And, it's a lot of messiness. A lot of this sounds like nobody got their story together. I need y'all to get y'all story straight. Anyway, they were trying to be clear to make sure nothing happened. She said, again, oh, nothing happened, nothing happened. I'm like, girl, something had to happen for you to be like that. I don't know. It's whether it was anything physical or anything, something happened that has you uncomfortable with just saying outright that something happened. We already know some overlap has happened. It just seems that way. That's the way I feel. I ain't gonna say we know, but I feel like there has been some overlapping situations that she just doesn't want to own up to. Just go, girl, just file a divorce and be done with it. And that way you can move forward with your life. Over at Black, we see there's no business happening. We learned that due to calls and complaints, it's been shut down. Marceau says that police and fire department and code enforcement then came and shut them down. There was a large event that caused a parking issue, and there was community leaders. They were pretty much asking for Black to be shut down. He feels like he's being targeted. He says that the problem is that he's been doing things alone and maybe he needs help. He feels like they want him to kiss up to him, the community leaders and whoever else are over things. From what he's saying, there's a use tax on the furniture. I don't really understand that. And she was like, well, we pay taxes on the furniture. I don't really know. I didn't look into it, but I'm gonna go and look that up as far as this use tax thing. Um, and then he said, well, this furniture came from Wayfair and Amazon. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that situation. Uh, they talk about how they're losing out on business and people are coming from out of town to see Black. They're talking about how much they have invested in the community. They do a lot for this community and they've invested a lot, and they're just getting really frustrated as far as business is concerned, why there's so much um, strife, in other words, in their situation. He's talking about the frustration he's experiencing due to owning a business in this area. But they're gonna dig their heels in and they're gonna fight. She said she gonna fight with him, baby. He said he is not gonna be forced to sell, and they're going to fight, especially because they have opened up this business in that area. They have their children's images. Um, have been drawn or illustrated on the side of the building. So, they are invested in this area. There's the things, that they just want to be a part of the community with no problem. So we're gonna see what's going on with them. I hope y'all get it together. I hear Black is a nice place, but child, I went online and looked at it. I was gonna give me a t-shirt from there, but $80 for a sweatshirt? No, I ain't doing that. I won't be doing that. But maybe when I go to Huntsville again, we'll stop by Black. Maybe we'll do that. We'll see. So in the next scene, Tricia is catching up with Ken. What happened between her and her ex? They sit down and they talk a little bit, have a little vittles. Um, and he just want to make sure that they're moving forward on that divorce because that was the plan. The thing about it is he is not going to be proposing until the ink is dry on that paperwork. And they talked about the ex being upset about him, just pretty much being in the kid's life, and that the ex is upset because his daughter don't really want to have anything to do with him, and it really doesn't have anything to do with Ken as much as the fact that he's not around. um and the thing about it is they really want to figure out how to get everybody on the same page regarding the co-parenting situation. They go into talking about the training session with Stormy and Destiny. And then Tricia has to come clean with Ken about this situation regarding Martell because Martell has told Stormy that she'd been to the house. So she tells Ken she didn't remember going to his house, but then she realized she had. And what had happened was she ended up going over there to talk about his situation with Mel. Now, this sounds really convoluted, but it's not my situation. I'm just here watching it. So he was like, "So you been to his house?" And she was like, "Yeah." And then he was like, "Let me tell you something." And this is what I say emotional intelligence looks like. Anyway, so he wanted to know why she didn't come clean. She should have said that in the first place because that puts him in a weird predicament when it comes to other people saying she and Martell knew each other, um, you know, in other ways and everything. Because what's happening is making it seem as though he doesn't know what's going on. Huntsville is small. He's like, "Hey, everybody has a pass." "I don't have a pass." "Yes, you do, girl. Everybody has a pass." And h- his thing is you're making him look crazy because if he's trying to defend you, he doesn't have all the information. Then it just looks like you trying to blindside him too. So it just doesn't look good. Her thing was, well, it wasn't that serious. And he's like, "Okay, well, if it's not that serious, then why didn't you say anything about it?" You know, that's the thing. Like, so he's showing her, you go ahead and put the information out there. You trust me with the information, then we can both get ahead of it together. But if everybody else has information, I don't have information. Here I am saying, "No, she ain't doing the thing," but she was doing the thing. It wouldn't have been a thing. So it makes everything look crazy and make everything look shady. So he was like, if you put out the information, you can control the narrative. Her thing is, well, everything's been blown out of proportion. And he's like, yeah, because you're not disclosing things and it makes everything look crazy. He was like, can you stop being some things you just got to stop being so secretive about. So here's the thing. I think people have a problem with knowing the difference between being private and being secretive. Being private means that the people involved know what's going on. And you don't need the outside noise being in your business. So you're not sharing need to know information with people who don't need to know. That's being private. Being secretive is withholding information that everyone else needs to know. Like the people who need to know don't need to know. Don't need to know, but they don't have the information. And she's being secretive. So she's got to learn how to be private but not be secretive. And that's what I think about, all that, because it does make him look crazy, but it also make her look like a liar. So even if nothing happened, nobody's believing that now because of the fact that the way that the information has been presented. And since Martell's the one that has control of the narrative, it makes her look absolutely nuts. And this is where the episode ends. I hope that clears some things up for y'all. It didn't really clear much up for me, but I hope it'll clear some things up for everyone else. How y'all feel about this episode? I think the next episode will be airing on August 16th. I think that's the date. I hadn't looked at the calendar. Maybe it's the 17th then. It's the 17th. So that's when the new episode's gonna come out, and then we'll see how everything unfolds then. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be scary. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, and I'd be honored if you support my channel by liking, subscribing, sharing this review, and hitting that notification button so that you'll know when I post another episode. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.